Sometimes you just ask yourself, how did I get here right now? Well, I drove to Yosemite for a weekend of flying. All right, we are ready to fly. My glider's set up. Erica's glider's set up. The sun is set up. Half Dome's there.
Half Dome's waiting.
Yeah, we're totally going to go to the top of Half Dome, like all the way up there. Yeah, no.
Land on it.
We're looking
Just
forward
kidding,
to
Yosemite Park Service.
No,
whatever you
not
are.
kidding. We're doing loops today. Here I am, getting all set up, ready to do my first ever launch. A little nervous, but feeling prepared. It's intimidating at the edge, but once you start running, you trust your technique and away you go. And immediately you get that beautiful view of the valley with Half Dome. My friend Tim Magnuson and his mom Holly took some beautiful photos of us on this trip. And I was able to get some shots from some bystanders, just watching and seeing the beautiful hang gliding. On my very first flight, the goal was pretty simple. Just a safe approach to the landing field, familiarize myself with the valley, and take in the views. And man, those views were stunning. You can see me flying past rocks and pine trees and looking at the river. And, oh, you could just do this for hours and never get bored. So, as I head my way across the valley, I'm really just looking at what the valley has to offer, and again, really thinking about the landing approach. This is the part of every flight that makes every pilot nervous. You can see the LZ underneath me here. It's the big open area. And I'm ready to begin my landing approach. Now, this glider is relatively fast on landing and there's no wind, so I knew it'd be challenging to have a clean touchdown, but I did the best I could. I'm very happy with my approach. I came in exactly where I wanted to. Turning to final with great control over the wing, very level, very smooth. Rounding out over the meadow, and flare. But it was a little bit too late, and I didn't really run, so I fell down to my knees. But overall, quite safe. At least the pictures look great. Now for launch 2. Different angle, you can see some of the crowd watching, and how the cliff just falls away as you take off. On this flight, I had a new goal. I wanted to get across the valley. You can see right over my head there is where the falls are usually going, but there was no water at this time of year. And I wanted to try to get really deep into where the falls are. Just sort of envisioning what it would look like if the water was flowing, and trying to think on a future trip, you know, how deep into this little pocket do I feel safe going? As I got deeper in, you can see through the movement of my body, my wing, and that string, the VG rope, that the glider really started to get moved around. There's a lot of air moving around in this area, and it threw me in some pretty scary ways. So I got out of there, and it really taught me that when the water is flowing, it'll probably be only worse and more dangerous, so I probably shouldn't go as far back. But I kept a safe margin, and it was still a fun experience. Right after that, you head out to landing once again, and of course I want to kind of redeem myself for the previous landing, but also have a little fun, do a little bit of an aggressive turn. So here I do a little dive, just carve a little bit. This is good training to prepare yourself for those big turbulence events so you can control the glider as needed. I take my VG off, that reduces the glide of my wing and gives me a little bit more control. Flip up the visor so I can feel the wind in my face. That gives me information about airspeed, and get into the upright landing position. Again, a great approach, feeling very happy about it. really right on the line I want to be on, right in the spot that I want to touch down. This time, flare. A little bit too early. I went a little higher. It was again tricky to be on my feet.
The best way to move a glider, put some wheels on there, and I can just cruise along. Literally everyone in the park and all the pilots are super jealous. They're like, wow, that's really smart. I'm like, I'm lazy.
And flight 3, my final flight of the trip, just sitting there, taking in the sight, kind of centering myself while the crowd watches and waits. We do a pretty thorough check over everything before we launch, of course. We have Chris Valley making sure I'm safe. And another nice strong run. On this flight, my goal was a little bit different. I wanted to turn right. Usually everyone kind of turns left, goes straight towards the waterfall area. But I thought, hey, I want to see what's back behind this little ridge. What does the valley look like from this perspective? And it would give me an opportunity to play around a little bit near launch. Whew, those shots are great. So after going out to the corner, I come back, and now you get to see Half Dome behind me and launch out in front of me. Right straight up ahead, that rocky formation. So it was fun to see this from a different angle. You can see how much altitude I lost just flying around. And then once again, heading out across the valley. Adding a little bit of extra VG. This will help me just glide a little further. Changes the shape of the wing a little bit. Once again, I'm over the meadow, and I want to practice some of those aggressive turns. Nice smooth air, this is a good place to just sort of turn. Now, from the 360 camera, it'll look like I'm almost doing a loop, but these turns are not that aggressive. They're really just same things that could happen in some turbulence. But they look cool. Now, once again, preparing my glider for landing. Reduce VG, flip the visor up, and I can see the crowd of people down below hanging out, taking photos, and enjoying watching the hang gliders coming in to land. So I gave him a wave. And my final landing approach this time, I really don't want to mess it up. I want to land on my feet. I feel like I figured out all the individual pieces, the timing of the landing, not too early, not too late. This glider is challenging. I'm a little heavy for it, so that creates a very short flare window or timing where you need to pitch the nose up to stop your forward movement and do your touchdown. So you can see I'm looking at the area that I want to touch down. That was my downwind leg of my approach. Now I'm on the base leg. And it kind of blends into the final leg smoothly. Got good body position. The glider is well balanced and level. Everything feels like it's coming into place. Flare hard, and no.
Damn it, one day. Do it too early or do it too late, but I can't just do it right.
It was just a little too late of a flare that time. But hey, we got beautiful photos and had a great trip.